A quick drive around the Triangle region of North Carolina will reveal new residential neighborhoods popping up everywhere. In fact, nearly a third of the homes that sold or went into contract in the last 12 months were new construction homes. And over 40% of the homes on the market right now are new construction. So if you've ever dreamed of owning a brand new home, but you're just not sure if it's right for you, then stick around as I dig into the pros and cons of buying new construction in the Triangle region of North Carolina. But before we jump in, my name is Matt Martin, and I'm a Raleigh-based realtor. I've helped tons of clients, just like you, relocate to the Triangle region, many into new construction homes. And if you're looking to do the same, I'd love to help you too. Now, I made a whole separate video about the process of buying new construction, which you can find here. But today I want to dive into the pros and cons of new construction to help you decide if it may be right for you. But even before we do that, since many of y'all are probably already looking at homes online, it's incredibly important to bring up here that most pricing that you see online does not include any of your material selections, which we'll discuss a bit later. The prices you're seeing are usually base prices that may include some options, but most people will want to make changes or upgrades that could easily increase the price by tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. So it's super important to understand that early on. So let's start with the fun stuff, the pros. The biggest pro for most people is that you're getting a brand new, never lived in, never scuffed up, smells like new paint because it is new paint home. You're not inheriting someone else's stains, there's no cooking smells trapped in the walls, there's no caked on food in the oven, and you won't be finding any random belongings that have accidentally been left behind. While any home, new or otherwise, is yours to do what you want with, having a completely blank canvas to start with is incredibly exciting for most people. Speaking of a blank canvas, the next big pro for many people is the ability to customize the home. Now, this will really depend on the builder, the neighborhood, and what stage of the process you're buying in. Some builders like Mungo or KB Homes have full interior design customization, which means that if you're buying a pre-sale home from them, that is one that hasn't started construction yet, you'll get to go to their design center and pick everything from tile to countertops to flooring to lighting to appliances to, yes, even grout color sometimes. You'll have limited options to choose from in each category, but the choices are completely yours. Now, if a 4-hour design center appointment sounds completely overwhelming and you just want to leave it to the experts, then other builders like Lennar offer different packages that you can choose from, but you don't have the ability to customize every little detail. And it's not just the interior finishes that you can customize. With some builders like Roebuck Homes, you can bring any of their floor plans to any of their available lots as long as the building envelope will fit. So depending on the builder and the community, you can go from as simple as picking a spec home that already has all the options chosen, all the way to full customization, where you pick your lot, your floor plan, your elevation, and your interior options. Another huge benefit for most people is that new construction homes come with a warranty, which is not something you'll usually find by default on a resale home. I've seen different levels of warranty, but the most common is a 1-year warranty on workmanship, so things like small cracks in the drywall, paint touch-ups, damage to siding, etc. And then a 10-year builder warranty that covers essential structural elements like foundation and framing. Some builders, though, like Stanley Martin, will also squeeze a 2-year warranty on mechanicals, so that'll cover things like your HVAC fritzing out or plumbing or electrical issues. Now, I will say here that you can purchase a home warranty on resale homes, but they're usually more limited in scope than a new construction home warranty. At number 4, we have builder incentives, and to be honest, this is the number one pro for many home buyers. Depending on the market, many developers and their preferred lending partners may offer incentives that you can use towards closing costs, rate buydowns, or design selections. Just like with the customization options I just mentioned, incentives vary widely from builder to builder and even from neighborhood to neighborhood. Just this past week, I went to 2 new townhome communities, only about 5 minutes apart from each other. Same size homes, same level of finishes, same price points, but one community was offering $5,000 towards closing costs or an appliance package, while the other was offering $15,000 towards closing costs. Most of the time, these incentives will save you tons of money, but I always caution my buyers to still shop around. Because these incentives are typically tied to the builder's preferred lending partners, their rates may be higher than you'd find elsewhere, even after factoring in the incentive savings. Okay, just a couple more pros to go, and this next one is a biggie, especially for people who need to sell their current home before buying, and that's the ability to write contingencies into your contract. Now, if you live in another state, writing contingencies into your offer is probably pretty standard fare, but that's just not common here in North Carolina. I have a whole other video about why, which you can check out here, but you'll find more flexibility in this regard in new construction communities. And that makes sense. Usually new construction closing timelines are much longer than resales, so many buyers haven't sold their homes yet, and they need assurance that they'll be able to get out of the deal and get their deposit back if their home can't sell during the build process. A lot of my out-of-town buyers who aren't looking to move here for a few months love this component of buying new construction, as it gives them more peace of mind than they'd have with a non-contingent resale purchase. All right, the last pro of new construction is availability, and this one is incredibly relevant right now, given that the Triangle has more people moving in than moving out, and we have super constrained resale inventory. A lot of my buyers are drawn to new construction because they know they'll have a multitude of options, and they won't have to sit around wondering if their dream home is going to become available in their dream neighborhood within their ideal time frame. With many of these communities, you can literally walk into the sales center, point to what you want, and go under contract that same day. You're usually not competing with other buyers for the property, which means you're likely not paying over the asking price or going into a multiple offer situation. And since builders have their own contracts and deposit rules, you're not going to be throwing out crazy due diligence amounts to beat out the competition. Now, if you have no idea what due diligence is or what that last comment meant, shoot me a text and I'll explain it all. So, buying new construction offers more options without the same level of competition that you'll find with resale homes. Well, that all sounds great, right? And it is. But what about the cons? Well, the biggest con to new construction, especially if it's in the early stages, is that you don't have a guaranteed move-in date. With a resale home, you set the closing date as part of your offer, and barring any significant mishaps along the way, you're most likely going to close on that date. But with new construction, delays are always a possibility, especially if you're building over the winter where weather is more unpredictable. So you'll need to be a bit more flexible with your timeline when building a new home. This works great for those who still have loose ends to tie up before they move, including selling their current house. But if your lease is about to end or you've already sold your current house and you need somewhere to move quickly, new construction might not give you that immediacy that you need. You may also find that new construction homes have smaller lots as developers try to squeeze as much onto their land as possible. This wasn't always the case, as you'll see in a lot of the subdivisions built even just a decade ago. But as land and build costs have skyrocketed over the past few years, builders have had to start piling in as much inventory as possible into these communities. This may be a pro to some buyers. Less lot means less maintenance. But if you're looking for a new home with a large backyard, it's going to be a bit harder to come by in a new construction community versus a resale home. And following in that vein, in order to squeeze as many homes into a development as possible, that means builders will typically clear cut the lot. In other words, they'll take down all the trees. Not only does this give the community a more sparse feel, but fewer trees combined with smaller lots also means less privacy. In many of these communities, you can still find homes along the perimeter of the development that back up to trees and have some privacy, but in general, these new construction communities will lack the character and established feel of an older, resale community. This is probably the biggest negative I hear from clients about new construction communities, especially from those who are moving to the Triangle region for our greenery and incredible tree canopy. So those are some of the pros and cons of buying new construction in the Triangle region of North Carolina. What excites you the most or worries you the most about new construction? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to kick off your home hunt in the Triangle region, be it new construction or otherwise, I'd love to be your guide. You can reach me by phone, email, or text, and you can find all my contact information in the link below or by scanning this QR code right here with your phone. And if you like this video, I have a whole catalog of others all about moving to, living in, and buying real estate in and around Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's another one here that you may like, so give it a click to keep on watching.